It is a strange and rather unsettling sight, I must admit. You wander into your garden on a lovely morning, maybe just to check on your tomatoes or admire the roses, and you spot it. Clinging to a wall, a fence post, or even the stalk of a sturdy plant is a cluster of impossibly bright, pink eggs. They look almost artificial, like something from a sweet shop, but their presence is a serious warning. These vibrant, almost neon masses are not a curious natural wonder. Instead, they are the first sign of a significant and unwelcome visitor that has begun to make its presence felt in our precious green spaces across the country. It's a sight that is becoming more common, and one we all need to understand. These peculiar pink clusters are the eggs of an invasive species known as the golden apple snail. Its scientific name is Pomacea canaliculata, but you are far more likely to know it by the vivid evidence it leaves behind. The snails themselves are quite large and can live both in water and on land, making them incredibly adaptable. Originally from South America, they were introduced to other parts of the world, including the United States, through the aquarium trade. People bought them as interesting pets for their fish tanks, but unfortunately, some were released into the wild, where they have begun to thrive and spread with alarming speed, causing a great deal of trouble. The reason these eggs are so noticeable is by design. The bright pink color is a warning to potential predators, signaling that the eggs contain toxins that make them unpalatable and dangerous to eat. This clever defense mechanism means that very few native birds, fish, or insects will touch them, allowing the snail population to grow unchecked. A single female snail can lay thousands of these eggs in her lifetime, leading to a population explosion in a very short amount of time. This high reproductive rate, combined with a lack of natural enemies in their new environment, is what makes them such a formidable threat to our gardens and local ecosystems. So, when you see these pink eggs, it is not simply a strange insect you have not seen before. It is the calling card of an invasive army that has arrived at your doorstep. These snails have a voracious appetite and an incredible ability to reproduce, which poses a direct threat to the delicate balance of our gardens, ponds, and local waterways. Understanding what you are looking at is the first most crucial step in dealing with the problem. We must not ignore this colorful but ominous warning. The health of our gardens and the wider natural world depends on us taking swift and informed action against this new invader. The golden apple snail is more than just a nuisance. It is a genuine ecological menace. Its impact on gardens and natural habitats is both swift and devastating. These creatures are not picky eaters. They will happily munch their way through a wide variety of plants, both in the water and on land. For the home gardener, this means your tender young lettuces, your beautiful hostas, and even the roots of your prized perennials could be on the menu. A small population of these snails can quickly decimate a vegetable patch or a carefully planted border, leaving behind a trail of shredded leaves and disappointment. It is a heartbreaking scenario for anyone who puts love and effort into their garden. The problem extends far beyond our garden fences and into the wider environment, particularly our ponds, streams, and wetlands. Golden apple snails are exceptionally destructive in aquatic ecosystems. They consume vast quantities of aquatic plants, which are the foundation of a healthy pond environment. These plants provide food and shelter for fish, insects, and amphibians, and they also help to keep the water clear and oxygenated. When the snails destroy this vegetation, the entire system can collapse. The loss of plants can lead to cloudy, stagnant water and trigger harmful algal blooms, which deplete oxygen and can release toxins that are dangerous to fish and other wildlife. Furthermore, these snails pose a direct risk to public health, which is a truly sobering thought. They are known to be intermediate hosts for several parasites that can be harmful to humans. One of the most serious is the rat lungworm, a parasite that can cause a rare type of meningitis in people. Infection can occur if someone handles the snails without protection or consumes raw produce, like lettuce, that has been contaminated by the snail's slime. This is why it is absolutely essential to never handle these snails or their eggs with your bare hands. The risk might be small, but the consequences are serious enough that we must all exercise extreme caution. The agricultural implications are also immense, especially for farmers who rely on wet conditions to grow their crops. In many parts of the world, the golden apple snail has become a major pest in rice paddies. The snails feed on the young tender rice shoots, and an infestation can wipe out an entire harvest, leading to huge economic losses and threatening food security for entire communities. While this may seem like a distant problem, it demonstrates the scale of destruction these creatures are capable of. It serves as a stark reminder of why we must prevent them from establishing a foothold in our agricultural lands, protecting both our food supply and the livelihoods of our farmers. Discovering those bright pink egg clusters in your garden can be alarming, but it is important to act calmly and correctly. The very first thing you should do is to avoid touching them with your bare hands. Remember, the eggs contain toxins that act as a defense mechanism. Always put on a pair of sturdy garden gloves or use a tool, like a trowel or a stick, to handle them. Your safety is paramount. Before you do anything else, take a clear photograph of the egg mass. This documentation is incredibly valuable, as it can help local authorities track the spread of this invasive species. Make a note of the exact location where you found them. Once you have your photograph and have noted the location, your next step is to contact the right people. Get in touch with your local environmental agency, agricultural extension office, or Department of Fish and Wildlife. These are the organizations responsible for managing invasive species, and your report is a vital piece of information for them. When you contact them, provide the photograph and the precise location. They will be able to give you specific advice for your area, and will add your sighting to their official tracking data, which helps them understand the scale of the invasion and plan a coordinated response. After you have reported the sighting, you must safely remove and destroy the eggs to prevent them from hatching. The most effective method is to carefully scrape the egg cluster off the surface it is attached to. Let the eggs fall into a bucket of soapy water or a sealed plastic bag. If you use soapy water, leave them submerged for at least an hour to ensure they are no longer viable. Alternatively, you can crush them thoroughly on a hard surface. The key is to make sure they are completely destroyed. Do not simply throw them in the bin or compost, as they may still hatch. Finally, after dealing with the immediate threat of the eggs, it is time to monitor the area closely. Look for other egg clusters on walls, plant stems, and near any sources of water. You should also keep an eye out for the adult snails themselves, which are often found in or near ponds, ditches, or damp areas of the garden, especially after it rains. By remaining vigilant, you can catch any further activity early on. This ongoing surveillance is a critical part of managing the problem, and preventing a small issue from turning into a full-blown infestation that becomes much more difficult to control. Tackling the spread of the golden apple snail requires more than just individual action. It demands a united, community-wide effort. One of the most effective long-term strategies is public education. We must all talk to our neighbors, friends, and fellow gardeners about this issue. Share what the pink eggs look like and explain the dangers these snails pose. Many people might see the eggs and not realize the threat they represent. By spreading awareness through local gardening clubs, community newsletters, and social media, we can create a network of informed citizens who are all watching out for this invasive pest, significantly increasing the chances of early detection. We can also make our gardens less inviting to these snails. Since they thrive in damp environments, managing water in your garden can make a big difference. Ensure you have good drainage, fix any leaky taps or hoses, and avoid leaving standing water in buckets or trays. If you have a garden pond, consider installing barriers around the edge to make it harder for snails to crawl in and out. Be extremely careful about what you introduce to your pond. Never release aquarium pets of any kind into the wild, and always inspect new aquatic plants for snails or their eggs before planting them. These small modifications can make your garden a less hospitable place for them to settle. Regional coordination is absolutely essential for long-term success. Snails do not respect property lines or town boundaries. A successful effort in one garden can be undone if a neighboring area is left unmanaged. This is why reporting sightings to local authorities is so important. It allows for a coordinated response where experts can manage infestations on public lands, waterways, and other critical areas. Community-wide cleanup events focused on removing snails and eggs from local parks and streams can also be incredibly effective. When we work together as a neighborhood or a town, our impact is magnified enormously. Ultimately, our greatest strength in this fight is our collective vigilance and our willingness to act for the greater good. The appearance of these pink eggs is a clear signal that our local ecosystems are under threat. By taking the right steps, reporting sightings, safely removing the eggs, making our gardens less welcoming and educating others, we can protect our beloved green spaces. Early detection and swift collaborative action are our best defense. Let us work together to ensure our gardens, farms, and natural habitats remain healthy and vibrant for generations to come, free from the destructive march of the golden apple snail.